Okay, guys, so we are back. Had some small issues to sort out in the background, but we back, and so the score is 6-2 in Barrish's favor. So let's get back to the arena. Okay. So now let's get the players to continue. So let's get it going. And Barrish is playing with the white pieces this time. We have switched over to Barrish's point of view. So now for the 3 minutes and 1 second increment. So black playing a type of hippo almost. Okay, and white has got Barrish. Barrish loves this pawn structure. It's like a same-ish structure. 1, 2, 3. He loves that structure. You can see it a lot in his games. SA closed games all over. He loves that structure. He gets a lot of good results with that structure, so he goes straight into it whenever he can. So bishop e2, just keeping the bishop. So black needs to find a plan now. Usually black is looking to play b5. b5 is unlikely right now. The bishop on b7 also seems a bit misplaced, so to speak. The bishop might be more useful on c8 because black might want to play rook to b8 and somehow get b5 in. f4 coming in. At some point white wants to play e5. So bishop f3 also keeping an eye on things on that diagonal. So e5 is a thematic thrust. Rook b8 protecting the bishop, foreseeing some problems with e5. White's lining himself up for e5. Bishop to f8 also prophylactic, opening up the rook. So black going back to this Benoni structure with g6, the bishop is most likely better placed on g7. Bishop a8, so now finally he's got some ideas of playing b5, b4, a typical move here by white, asking black to capture. And after he would capture back, then there's some pressure on the b file. If black would push, then later on the knight could land up on d4. And now white wants to secure that square on c4 as well at some point. Knight takes b5, is that possible? Are we going to see knight takes b5? Yes, there's pressure on the d6 pawn now. Queen e7, the queen doesn't seem too happy on e7 with the rook on e1. So now Black is in the situation where he has to go for a win. Sherwin being down in the match 6-2, he needs to come up with a victory, so no need to play cautious. So Black is also a bit cramped over here. He needs to find something to do here. White takes the lead in that. Decides to go for it here. Pawn takes pawn. Is that a beautiful center or is that a beautiful center? Knight h5. It's a Bobby Fischer move like in the Benoni. Knight to h5, inviting bishop takes h5. Knight takes h5 is also possible. Not but quite in the same situation like Bobby was in. But Black didn't really have much of a choice over there. Knight takes bishop. Rook takes knight. Wat gaan dan na dit gebeur? So both of these guys down to 20 seconds or less. Sherwin now, yeah, big trouble. Basically a rook down. Doesn't look good for Sherwin for the match. For this game and for the match. Should be over now. Pawn to d6 could be something to look at. Maybe just rook d1. A last leap forward. Queen to g3 maybe a threat. Bishop h2 check a threat. Rook takes bishop is a possibility. And the SA champion doesn't see any reason why to do that. I would have maybe just gotten rid of it. Oh no, what's going on? Oh my goodness. Couldn't he have captured the... I think he could have captured the bishop as well. Oh my word. And Sherwin squeezes a victory out of nothing. Wow. What a scramble there. And Sherwin stays in the match. Guys, if you are looking for drama, here it is. Sherwin keeps Daniel at bay. And the score becomes 6-3 with 3 more games to go in this 3-minute plus 1 second increment game. Whew. Unbelievable. So the time still playing a factor. Sure. So Barrish doing his center counter with Queen D8 again. He claimed earlier that he didn't like the position that he got, but see, he's going in for it again, seems solid. Maybe something he prepared at home. Queen takes D5 and Queen D8. Not the most popular move. Usually they go Queen A5 is the old main line, and then Queen D6 is the modern way of playing it. But Queen D8, yeah, it's not the most popular. But it seems like he's getting decent positions. White is not under a lot of pressure in this line though, so I don't know. Maybe Barrish is just going for solid play over here. He only needs a draw from the last 3 games just to secure the match. So once again, Sherwin needs to come up with a result, and he's still technically in the game. It seemed like he was down and out in the previous one, but yeah, he managed to get himself out of trouble. So let's see what happens in this one. So Sherwin, I guess, has got his eyes set on long castling. He could potentially still short castle if he wants to, but maybe a move. Maybe knight e4. Barrish, of course, is looking at simplifying, maybe at some point capturing on c3 or playing e5 or even c5. I think black is quite solid, so Sherwin does what I expected. Maybe something to throw black off a bit. Black was maybe already eyeing the queen side, but white now decides to short castle and just say, okay, everything is fine, everything is calm, so we still have a long game to go. It's almost like that match that Kasparov had versus Karpov. I'm not sure which title match it was in 1990. I think there was a famous match where Kasparov needed a victory in the last game of the match in order to retain his title. And lots of people speculated, what is he going to play? The mighty Kasparov, the aggressive Kasparov, what is he going to play to try and force a victory against Karpov? He played the slow and quiet Reti. So a lot of times these strong players decide to play slow positional games when they have to win to tire down the opponent and not make it a quick end, so to speak, and give your opponent as many chances as possible to go wrong. So, okay, so white has got double pawns. He's got the bishop pair, though. The bishop on b3 does not look like a pretty piece, but white's got the center. Black needs to prove that his knights are doing anything. Maybe knight takes d2 is a possibility right now. Rook takes, and then knight f4. Seems good to me. The bishop is not going to be a nice piece on b3 unless white gets to break open somehow. Maybe c5, but perhaps knight f4 now after rook takes. And okay, so Barrish goes knight b6, and he rather prefers to put pressure on that pawn over there, the doubled pawn, and that makes complete sense. Okay, but can white perhaps go c5? Both of these guys on less than a minute and a half. Okay, now showing on a minute and 40 seconds. They are using the increment. So c5 looks like a nice move, just blocking the pawns. And here we see this bishop is really not happy with these two pawns in his way. And c5 basically just blocks everything. And there's a pin along the d file, so white doesn't even have the choice of capturing. So there's pressure on the d4 pawn, lots of it. And the knight can maybe think about maneuvering in the long run. Maybe even another option is there, and there. That's another possibility. Rook c8, and Barrish is simply targeting that weak pawn on c4. That's the problem with these doubled pawns, especially if you don't have the knight. So yeah, undoubles, but maybe c4 now is a good move. Yes, c4 cuts out the bishop. And black's pieces are working well to hit the weaknesses. a4 is also a long-term problem here. And king d6 is a good move because white could potentially play rook b1 and hit the knight. King could swing around to c7 if need be. Check, and that also opens up the rook, of course. So very tight. Both guys under a minute right now. Sherwin needs to do something special here again. He's behind the pawn. He dropped the pawn right now. There's a nice spin. Maybe he could double up. Maybe that wasn't the smartest choice for Barrish to capture that pawn immediately. King c6 still in a pin. So, perhaps rook b5 or rook to d4 is another possibility. So rook d7 now. Barrish down to 18 seconds. Getting interesting. Okay, rook d7. Barrish really needs to work on his time now, because seems like that was a bit unnecessary by white. That didn't look necessary. I think white threw it away. Yeah, I think that was a bit too early to sack the rook 4. But okay, he can get his exchange back. Oh my, and b6 drops. Oh my. Okay, I think Barrish is also not playing the best of moves here with the little time that he has. This could be... Remember, Barrish just needs a draw from this, but his time is his main foe right now. Time is the big problem. And white should now come around with his rook and try to wrap up the pawns on the other side. This could potentially be very dangerous for black. And I think black is in trouble. His king is way on the other side. Black is in trouble. This is lost. And can Sherwin secure this? Can Sherwin secure this? Sherwin's got it. The pawn is hanging. King to e5. He can even play king takes pawn. Yes. Do you know your Lucina positions? Do you know your Lucina? And Sherwin is in control. He can cut off the king. That's the best way of doing it. He should be cutting off the king. And I think it's still winning, luckily for him. So it's to be fair, it's a time scramble. So guys, techniques can't, the people's technique can't always come out as clearly as you want to. And Sherwin pulls another one out of the hat over here. Sherwin winning on demand. And it's 2 victories for him in the 3-minute games. Barrish definitely needs to work on his time management when it's low. When he's low on time, he's not playing well when he has little time left. He had a very nice position. So the score is now 6-4 with 2 games to go. Here we go, guys. Here we go. So Barrish playing, starting out d4 and c4. We see another queen's gambit over here. This didn't go too well for Sherwin in the previous 5-minute game. So let's see if Sherwin can improve somewhere. Okay, so he puts the bishop on e7. Last time he put it on d6. I'm not sure if this happened in the first rapid game, because we had some issues at the beginning of the match. So Sherwin looks like he's going for this isolated pawn structure again, possibly. And I think Sherwin just needs to stay in the game, like I said, like the Kasparov method of just staying in the game and waiting for your opponent to crack under pressure. No need to force the situation. And Daniel has lost 2 games in a row. So we all know, if you are a chess player, it's not nice to lose 2 games in a row. You are not in the best of mind frames. So Sherwin does have the momentum, I would say. Barrish is going to have to just stay calm and recollect himself. So very interesting matchup indeed. Sherwin is leading the 3-minute 1-second increment match by 2-0, and he needs to win the next 2 games to force a tie break. By the way, if it is a tie, then we will go to I will just double check, but I think we then go to 2 bullet games. We will go then to 2 bullet games. And both guys look quite intense in their game right now. As like I said, I've got the WhatsApp video feed, keeping an eye on the players so that they don't get up from the game and so on, for fair play reasons. So yeah, it's all in the balance. So knight c4 hitting b2. I like that knight over there. The knight is applying pressure. it's very difficult to get rid of the knight, because if b3, then there's always this idea of knight takes a3, and whoa, Showen comes up with knight takes a3. The knight on c3 will be hanging, and a very nice tactic over here. Showen really putting the fuel on the fire over here in this match, and rook takes c3 surely about to happen, and it seems like black just picked up a pawn. Yes, Showen really stepping up his game. And hold up, rook takes c3, bishop h7, check. That is what he must. So it looks like he's an exchange down, but he's got a pawn for the exchange. He's got a pawn for the exchange, so there's definitely life in the position. E6 square is a bit weak, but all you need in situations like this for Showen is to just have some play, and play there is. Got a half open f file, the knight is standing decently or quite nicely on e4. White is going to have to play something like f3 in the future to get rid of that pesky knight. What can black do here to create play? b7, white is eyeing b7, white is also eyeing g7. So with that knight e4 move, he actually exposed himself a bit over there. So the exchange has to happen. I'm thinking about the rook takes f6 and the rook g6. No, not queen takes. Not queen takes, rook takes, and then the rook g6 perhaps, something like that. You needed to keep the queens on the board. That's how I feel I would have handled the situation. Now, when you an exchange down, usually if you have one pawn forward, there's some chances of being equal, or depending on the situation. But usually you would prefer a bishop and a pawn for a rook. Here with the knight and the pawn, the knight can tend to be a bit sloppy, and the pawns can protect the knight, but the knight can't protect the pawns. That's the issue. So it is not exactly what I would have wanted if I was playing black over here. Barrish, on the other hand, is down to 34 seconds, and Showen is on 1 minute and 20 seconds. So the clock also playing a vital part in this game. So the black king also needs to come to the party. I feel like king f7 and king e6 has to happen. King f7, king e6. Okay, that's a mouse slip, guys. Let's get back to the game. Okay, so now we're looking at it from Showen's point of view. I'll sort it out afterwards. We need to stay with the game for now. Okay, I think I can sort that out. There we go. Back to Barrish's side. Okay, so what's happening over here? So it's an end game. The knight, like I said, doesn't seem to be doing the job that the bishop would have done. The knight is a bit sloppy. Black has an outside pass pawn, but white does have the 3 versus 2 on the other side. So that knight really needs to work miracles right now. He's going to have to find something to do. Oh my word, and the rook is hanging. The rook is hanging. Barrish blunders. The rook is hanging, and now all of a sudden black is a piece up. Black is a piece up, and what a turnaround yet again in this game, and the match continues. So now Barrish, and he lost already. So now the final game of the 3 minute 1 second increment, and yeah, let's go, guys. So final game, the last game of the match. Showen is behind 1 point now. The overall score is 5-1, and it seems like a slow King's Indian type of position. Maybe Showen is listening to my advice, or indirectly listening to my advice by playing something slow. He needs a victory. Showen has put himself in Kasparov's situation over here, where he needs a victory in the last game. If he can win this game, the last 3.1 game, then he will equalize the score. The score is 6-5. The score is 6-5. Sherwin needs a win in the last game, and then we will go down to tie breaks. So Barrish lost the last 3 games in a row. Barrish's time management really has been the main issue for him. He's been getting himself into good positions, even winning positions, but blundering when he gets low on time is the main issue. So Barrish really needs to try to watch his clock. And the momentum is surely in Sherwin's favor right now. But Barrish still just needs a draw from this game in order to win the match. Guys, this is ending up to be a very, very tight finish. Didn't look like this after the 5-minute games, and now all of a sudden Sherwin getting 3 wins in a row. Doesn't matter in which way it was. He played excellently to get himself back into the match. This is our last game of the match, unless of course they on the same score. That can potentially still happen. So exciting stuff. All the pieces are still on the board. Only 2 pawns, a pair of pawns have been exchanged. So rook to b3, not the prettiest move on the board. So with this bishop aiming down there, but the knight is covering it quite solidly, and white just says, okay, I want to double up, apply some pressure on the queen side, the only open file, which is the b file. So black also needs to now respond. Black can't do the same. Black cannot do the same. So black gives up his light squared bishop. Not sure if that was the best decision over there. If black can win the pawn, yes, then it will be good. But it almost looks like those double pawn situations that I said a few games ago that Sherwin shouldn't have allowed against Barrish. Now Barrish seems to have given Sherwin decent looking double pawns. The light squares could be an issue for black in this situation. The bishop could be bad, and black is definitely not playing d5 at any moment. The knights seem to be slightly awkward. It all depends if black can actually win that pawn, but right now white has got so much defense on c4, should be fine. Of course, that's the way to go for black. f5. It does seem a bit concerning for black because he doesn't have a light squared bishop, and it could potentially end up going very wrong for him. But I think Barrish doesn't want to sit back and get grinded down, so he's taking it to his opponent. Bishop g2 and e4, right? So now black is looking at playing some moves like knight e5. Of course, he needs to watch out for his other knight first. So how is black going to... the pawn on c3 was hanging all along. Pawn on c3 was hanging, and now the d4 square is opened up. Has opened up, and black seems to be getting back into it. So now all that Barrish needs to do is keep an eye on the clock. Bishop takes bishop is not good because of pawn takes bishop. All that black needs to do is get this knight. Oh my word, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. All I was going to say, all that black needs to do is get his knight out of play or in the game, and white has allowed it. So now I think black has got a very nice position, except for the fact that the d file has opened up and there's some pressure on d6. His king is also slightly exposed. There's some issues potentially. I can't say I really like white's bishop over there, but yeah, it's very much in the balance still. So white discovers a weakness on f5 over there. The light squares are still a problem for black. It seems like all of white's pieces are becoming quite active. Very nice move, bishop a3, and Barrish again down to 10 seconds. Can Barrish hold the position? Pawn to a5, I think, is under a lot of pressure. Rook to d5. Oh my word. Is Sherwin going to squeeze this victory and make it 4 in a row? Queen takes a5, rook takes b3. White's king also becoming slightly exposed now. Sherwin, I think, needs to take his time over here. His opponent is down to 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds. So I would suggest Sherwin taking his time over here. Queen to d8. Lurking around, rook takes e3. Is rook takes d6 possible? Black can also enter here on a1 perhaps. King f2. King f2 seemed better to me. Why was king f2 not played? And it seems like Barrish has seen himself through all the worst in the position. He's got 2 seconds, 2.4 seconds. Sherwin needs to do something to keep him busy. My word! Rook takes e7. Barrish is loving on increment. He's got 1 second. He's gaining some time as well. My word, rook takes pawn was a possibility, and Barrish is now firmly in control over here. I think Sherwin can only play for time here, and it seems like Barrish is gaining time with every move that he makes, playing instantly. And it seems like Black is going to secure it. Can the SA champion do this with 3 seconds on the clock? And White has got his own pass pawn and is running. Oh my word, Sherwin doing something very interesting over here. Can he go queen? Pawn to f2. King. Okay, so he's bringing in the other pawn. My word. And oh my word, Sherwin brings it back. Guys, let's just take a moment to talk to the players. Hi guys, can you hear me? Can you unmute please? My word, guys, this is now an interesting turn of events. The score is level, not what we expected at all with the way things were going. Sherwin, you pulled a rabbit out of a hat over there, and that 4 in a row. A tough one, Daniel. It looked like you were winning in a lot of those games, but every time Sherwin just comes back. Yeah. So that was the main issue right now, the actual time issue for you, Daniel. So now we're gonna have to go to the tie break. Let's just take another 5-minute break, because I said 5-minute breaks in between every time control to make sure. I'm gonna make sure about the tie break system. I've got a feeling it's 2 bullet games, so it's even faster. So it's 2 bullet games, and if the 2 bullet games are tied, then we're gonna go to an Armageddon, I think. But let me just double check on the rules. We are also behind on schedule because the other match is supposed to start at 6:30. So give me about 5 to 6 minutes, guys, just to chat to the other people and make sure that we can push the schedule a bit further up, and then I will be back.
Yeah, but can I play the bullet on my phone?
Well, if you don't disconnect or go anywhere, I mean,
I won't disconnect, but I think on the phone I'm much faster, man.
You know what? I actually prefer that you guys just continue the match the way you've been playing, Sherwin. I think to be fair, I think you guys should just continue the way you've been playing. So let's take a 5-minute break, guys. And then I will phone you back shortly. Okay. Okay, guys, a big turn of events. The score is equal. It is 6-6. So now we're going to the tie break. Sherwin Kleinsmidt winning the last 4 3.1 games in a row. So I'm going to take a 5-minute break here just to get everything sorted out for the tie break. Please stay tuned. This is exciting stuff. So see you soon. Okay, guys, so we're back for the tie break, and yeah, it's been a wonderful matchup. Barrish started off by taking the rapid, and he also got extended his lead in the 5 minute portion of the game, 5 minutes, 1 second increment, to up to 6-2 his lead. And then Sherwin had to win his last 4 games just to equalize the match. And that is what Sherwin Kleinsmidt did. He won his last 4 games in the 3 minutes and 1 second increment. So now we are going to go to the tiebreak. I mentioned earlier 2 bullet games, but that's not the first tiebreak. I double checked our rules, and the first tiebreak will be 2 games of 3 minutes each. No increment, 2 3-minute games. And yeah, if there's not a winner from those two, then we will go on to 2 bullet games. If there's still no clear winner after the 2 bullet games, then we will go to one Armageddon game. But for now, we play 2 3-minute games, and we see who comes up on top. So let's get to our arena, and let's tell our players now that that they can get going. So Daniel and Sherwin, good luck to both of you. You can start. Okay, so let's get to that game. It seems like we need to go to another game over here to get there, and we're off. So Barrish is playing with the black pieces. It looks like the same as the previous game, exactly the same opening as the last time, and we're playing a closed type of Sicilian again, a King's Indian attack basically, and same structure. Let's see what Barrish will do this time. B5 93, and yeah, this is exciting, guys. 3 minutes straight. Knight to h4. Seems slightly different from the other game. And by the way, everybody, the following match we will push back a bit. We will see what time we finish with this one. I will take a small breather after this match, but we are planning on starting with the next match, Michael James versus David Gluckman, at 7. It's originally scheduled for 6:30, but we should be able, if this match doesn't go on too long, we will be able to start that match at 7. Okay, so white is hinting at f4 there as a possibility. Black says, okay, I'm going to strike first in the center. Look at those 4 pawns. Barrish is definitely in a mood here. He needs to bounce back from the 4 losses in a row. Now it's no increment, so it might be even more difficult if he's low on time. C5 pawn is weak. C5 pawn is weak. So what is black going to do about that? Maybe pawn to c4. White wouldn't be able to capture because bishop takes would pin the queen to the rook. But what can white do about this? It could be a dangerous move because pawn takes pawn and bishop c4. Rook to d1 was played. So if pawn takes pawn, then queen takes d3. f5, nice and aggressive. Will white go knight to c5? Knight d2, bishop takes g2, king takes g2. And black picks up a pawn. Black picks up a pawn. Does white have anything? Surely Sherwin can't capture on d3. Did he have any other choice? I don't know. I didn't see. Maybe queen f3 was an option. No. Okay, this is not a pretty sight. Luckily for whoever is behind, there's no more increment. So it's basically a showdown of speed as well. So the knight just giving something to think about. Don't think it's a huge problem. So black must just keep his nerve now, keep the pace going as well, and it should be looking good for black in this situation. A4 is a good move. I like it. It tries to open up some lines. That's what all that you need to do in these type of blitz games. You need to go for activity and keep your opponent busy. Even though black is a pawn up and he's got these pass pawns are blocked for the moment. And as long as black cannot push these pass pawns through, white still has a 2 versus 1 on this side. So black needs to figure things out over here. Knight can get to c4. And then I think black needs to at some point play f4 and e3. That might be the winning strategy. It's not so easy. It's easier said than done. Both these guys, it's level on the clock. Just both of them about to reach 1 minute. So black yearning for exchanges. Sherwin saying no, let's just keep more pieces on the board. And both of these guys are less than a minute. Sherwin for the first time in quite a while, he's got less time. Barrish is pushing onwards with his pass pawn. Knight b2 is the threat, I think, because that would attack the queening square. So now black needs to just try to find the breakthrough. h5, maybe just creating some space, maybe hinting that he's not sure what to do to win here. Maybe pushing that pawn was a bit early if he cannot, because the king is coming around to e2. Whoa, what's going on here? Blunder. Seems like Barrish is not holding on so tightly. f5 is also dropping. Now king can go to e2. Okay, what's going on over here? Bishop e3 check. d2 might just fall now. d2 might just fall. There it drops. Bishop e3 perhaps. So Sherwin is low on time though. Barrish I think should keep on playing fast. Barrish should just try to keep him going on the clock. So Sherwin is on 30 seconds. Barrish is on 25 seconds. And Barrish is back in it. He should bring his king up. He should definitely bring his king up. Yes, king up and king f3. That's definitely the way to go. And I think he's back in it. I think Barrish has got... and it's mate. Sure, it's mate. And Barrish is finally, after 4 losses in a row, he's got a victory in. And now, let's go to the finals. Barrish only needs a draw from this game. So Sherwin playing the modern King's Indian type of structure. Let's see if he goes e5 or c5. He goes e5 this time. And Barrish decides to go for his beloved same-ish structure. Queen h4 check. I'm not sure if that really does a lot. Maybe he bounces back to e7. To d8. So he basically just says, okay, I'll give you that tempo. g3 is a weakening of your structure. That's black's argument. Doesn't seem like g3 really bothered white over here. White probably will play g4 eventually. So not the most convincing theoretical gesture by Sherwin. Knight to b6. It seems like Sherwin is not really completely comfortable here. I'm not sure if he's a King's Indian player because the knight doesn't really belong on b6 in these structures. This knight over here doesn't have anything to do. As you can see, he's a bit stuck for plans. And white is just continuing with h5 next and going for mate. So black has to try something that looks good. I think that's a very good choice to go f5. So Sherwin back in it, yeah, I think that's the way to go. And white's king also white's king also needs to find a safe place. Is white still gonna long castle? Is white's king gonna be in the middle? Sherwin down to 2 minutes. Barrish is on 2 minutes and 19 seconds. So white exchanges off that light squared bishop that's usually not so good in these types of positions. So Barrish's king is in the middle. Is he gonna long castle? He can't long castle right now because that would lead his knight into a pin, and then knight takes e4 is possible. After that, then the rook would be pinning the knight, and then knight takes e4 is possible. So he can't long castle. His king is stuck in the middle. He would definitely want this rook to swing over to the king side. And black's king seems quite safe to me for the moment. So I'm beginning to like black right here. Okay, black does have a bad bishop over there. Black needs to find some activity with his knights. Maybe knight back to d7, knight c5. He's looking for light squares. He's maybe looking at queen h5, especially because white can't castle yet. And that's the reason why Barrish went queen e3. So now, yeah, black needs to come up with something. Maybe a5, a4. Maybe something like that. Knight to h5, hitting the rook. Yeah, knight f4. I think knight f4 is a very thematic, very nice thematic King's Indian move. I think you must. Knight f4 looks very juicy because nobody wants to capture a knight on f4, unleashing that bishop down there. So I think he must time it, but he should have played it earlier because now there's already pressure with the two rooks down here, and it could be fatal. But okay, knight takes, pawn takes, and the queen is hanging, so there's some issues. Okay, so he finds knight f4, might be just in time. Barrish needs to decide what is he going to do now, and I don't think that knight is really the guy you want to capture because of this King's Indian bishop ready to be unleashed. So remember, Barrish only needs a draw from this game. Knight takes e2 was the threat actually, because the knight on c3 is pinned. White is actually quite awkward here. And again, we threaten knight takes e2. Of course, white just sidesteps that. I don't know if queen h5 was the most direct way of handling the situation there. Yeah, I think he kind of lost the plot over there. Losing a bit of time. And now it seems like white is the one that's attacking. It seems like white is the one eyeing the king now. Rook to g7 is a huge threat. Rook to g7 threatening mate is a huge threat. And the white king is quite snug there. So rook to g8 played. And white is quite happy just nipping off a pawn, and now e5 is crumbling. And once e5 comes, then it should be all over. Oof, knight d7 only move it seems. But now massive exchanges on g8 would lead to the king taking on g8, I think. Both guys on 30 seconds. Barrish on 35 seconds. And Sherwin now need to come up with something. Barrish wanting to simplify. Is this winning? The pass pawn looks very dangerous. Knight to f5 is also a possibility. Black living on the edge over here. So it's gonna be a time scramble now. It's less than, both guys 20 seconds and less now. Oh my word, and he gets the pawn and it's equal again. So remember, Barrish only needs a draw, but with this time control, it's about who is faster. And Barrish is slightly ahead on the clock. And it's all about the pace. It's all about the pace. Barrish has got a small lead. He's got 2 seconds on the clock more. Showing down to 8 seconds. And he really needs to get in some good moves here. Maybe give some checks. Otherwise, it's just over. He's going to run out of time before Barrish. Yeah, and the game is also lost. So it seems like Barrish is going to take this one. And the time is running out and the game. So Barrish takes it 2-0 in the tie break. Well done to Barrish. Let's see if we can get the guys on Skype. Well done, Daniel. Well done. Tough game, Sherwin. Can you guys maybe join us on Skype? Can we try to get you on Skype quickly? Just an audio call.
Are you going to call or must be joined?
I need to call you guys. I don't know. Yeah. Let's try to get you on Skype. So guys, Daniel Barrish takes it in the tiebreak 2-0. And we're trying to get hold of Daniel now on Skype, and Sherwin we're gonna get as well.
Sherwin?
Yes, Sherwin. Ons gaan jou op Skype kry nou, né? Ons gaan jou op Skype kry, Sherwin.
Sorry?
Ons gaan jou op Skype kry.
Okay.
Okay, gaan jou add nou.
Okay.
Okay, Daniel, can you hear me over Skype? Daniel, can you hear me? Daniel, I can't hear you on Skype. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, Daniel.
Ik kan niet horen.
Okay, kry my op Skype, Sherwin. Okay guys, just give us one more minute to try and get the players, and then we will be tuning out for a very short while, and then we're gonna be back with more action. Let's try one more time. Hi Daniel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, fantastic. So now let's just get Sherwin on the line as well. Okay, so we trying to connect to Sherwin now as well.
Okay, cool.
Okay guys, so we've got Daniel Barrish on the line here, and now we're just waiting for Sherwin to join as well. Hi Sherwin, you can switch off your video. Let's just do an audio call. Can you hear me? Can you just talk a bit louder? I can't seem to hear you properly, Sherwin. Can you turn up your volume? Okay, Daniel, are you still with us?
I'm still with you, yeah.
Okay, there seems to be a slight problem with Sherwin's call. Sherwin, please try to find some settings there on Skype that maybe up to your mic settings, because you are very soft right now. So Daniel, what can you tell me about your victory? How was it?
Very nerve-wracking.
Ooh, yeah, it was.
I definitely didn't expect to lose 4 in a row like that.
It was a roller coaster of a ride, young. You took the lead so nicely, and even after the 5-minute games, it seemed like very unlikely for Sherwin to get back, and there Sherwin gets 4 in a row. And you managed to, and I must say it's very difficult to come back after losing 4 games in a row, to come back and then do it in this fashion, because I mean, you were struggling with time on the 3.1, and now you did better at the 3. So I don't know if it was a cycle.
It was a complete mindset shift. I mean, I was playing way too slowly on the 3+1. Like it was I was basically like struggled to adjust from 10 minutes to 5+1 to 3+1. I still was playing like it was a 10-minute game.
Yes. So that's like
I thought I was getting good positions, even winning positions, pretty much all the games, but I just was playing far too slowly and blundering it away or losing on time.
So that psychological push of knowing there's no increment just pushes you to play fast and so on. So yeah, no, but well done, Daniel. Let's just hear from Sherwin. Sherwin, are you there? Okay, Shawan, what is your feel? How was the match for you? I can vaguely hear you. Can you please try to talk loud? Kan je net jouw WhatsApp of enig iets anders wat anders daar zo afzet? Anything else that's recording us right now? Please just turn it off. Just have your Skype settings on. So you said it was very interesting. And what did you say at the end, Shawan? What else? Where do you think you missed it? Yeah, I think it could have gone either way. I think it could have gone either way, especially with this no increment. You guys were playing up till the end. I wasn't sure who was going to take it. So thank you very much, guys. It was a very entertaining game. Well done, Daniel, for winning the match.
Thank you.
Well done, Sherwin, as well, for displaying very good chess and actually making it such an interesting match. I mean, it could have gone either way in the tie break. So well done to you also, Sherwin. And thank you guys for making this an exhilarating first match in this knockout tournament, Calvin Klaassen Chess Invitational. So any last words?
Yeah, just thanks, Calvin. Thanks, Sherwin. Well played, Sherwin. And yeah, that's about it from me.
It's been a pleasure. And Sherwin, anything? Any last words, Sherwin? Okay, I can't seem to hear Sherwin right now, guys. So well done to both players. Thank you for the match, and we'll be signing off now. But it is now 6:20. We will start with our other match at 7. Everybody. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Stay tuned. More action to come. And this is the end of our first quarterfinal match. Daniel Barrish ending up on top and winning the match in a nail biter. He had to do it in the tiebreak. So thank you everybody for watching. Do follow me on Twitch on Calvin Klaassen Chess if you still haven't. Do so, and then you will be up to date about the other matches coming tomorrow and the rest of the weekend as well. Thank you very much, everybody, and see you soon. Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.